with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube, X, Roku, and Fire TV. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. I got you for the next 25 or 30 minutes, as we do every single day on 12OZ Sports. You can get in on the action. You can comment live on YouTube or X. Just go ahead to youtube.com/12OZ Sports and you can comment live on the show, or x.com/12OZ Sports and comment live there. We have social media everywhere. The Rome Show 1, that's the Rome Show, the number 1. It's in the corner of your screen, and you can find that on any social media platform. Also, you can head to 12ozsports.com for everything we just spoke about in one singular website. We have a charcuterie board of show for the people today, with a lot of it based around the NCAA tournament. We talked about the field of 68 yesterday. The first 4 games start tonight, where you have a 16 seed matchup and you have an 11 seed matchup. The second set of first 4 games is tomorrow, Wednesday, 3/19, and then we move on from there. Staying in the NCAA as well, a new rule was passed that is going to change again the way NIL is handled with recruiting and transfer portal moving forward. So another step towards professional college sports in the NCAA. Plus, we got some hockey. It is not a Hockey with Rocky Tuesday. It will be a Hockey with Rocky Wednesday. But we still have some information for the people, including the countdown of Alexander Ovechkin and his pursuit of Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record at 894. And we finish every show, well, not every show, 92% of the shows that we have here on 12OZ Sports, we finish with Daily Bananas. That's right, Daily Bananas, where you can win some bananas. And if you don't know what bananas are, I got 2 things for you. First one is, you haven't been listening to the Rome Show long enough, because the reference on this show of fruits is plentiful, and or number 2, you might have listened to the Rome Show and this entire time been like, what the hell are these fruits he's talking about? Just go ahead and check out those green bills, that we all try and earn every single day. There's your bananas right there. So let's get started with the NCAA. All right. We will start first with the NCAA rule that was voted on and will be official coming up next month in April, and how it'll change the landscape of the NCAA moving forward. So here's what it is, The NCAA, when NIL started, was not allowing schools to negotiate the NIL deal with the potential recruit before the recruit was enrolled in college, So we'll use Andrew as the example. Andrew is being recruited to play Division I bowling, And the Division I bowling coach is like, listen, we have a really good NIL deal here. We have really good support from our boosters. And once you enroll in school here, we believe we're going to be able to get you some NIL money, Now, Andrew goes on 5 or 6 recruiting visits and gets the same pitch, essentially. Now, there's gray area. There's ways you can allude to something or ways you can allude to something else, But at the end of the day, the student athlete or prospective student athlete, prior to the changing of this rule, was unable to negotiate their NIL deal prior to enrolling at the school. And the reason for this rule being in existence was because the NCAA wanted to keep still a little bit of the amateur college aspect of the game in play. So essentially, recruits, so be it potential freshmen or potential transfers from junior college or straight up transfer portal guys going from 4-year to 4-year, that recruits now, instead of having to choose the school, essentially, quote unquote, for the school and not the NIL deal. The NIL change now in this rule allows the schools to use the NIL contract as an actual recruiting tool. And you might be saying to yourself, well, hold on a second here. Hasn't that been going on? Well, yes. Yes, it has been going on, but it has not been as detailed. Essentially, the simplest way to put it all is you now have true, straight up free agency in college sports. Okay. If I am a junior heading into my senior year of high school, okay, I am the youngest version of a free agent. Okay. It's like I'm a rookie. It's like I'm an undrafted free agent, okay? If I'm in my freshman or sophomore year coming out of junior college, okay, it's like I am a third or fourth year player on the precipice of superstardom, okay? And if I'm a junior or a senior or even a graduate student in the transfer portal, all right, now I'm looking for my NBA max deal. Hey, I earned the peanuts the last 2 or 3 years playing on my rookie deal. Now it's time for me to get the Shador Sanders treatment, the Livy Dunn treatment, the top NIL makers in the country type treatment. So what the NCAA just did is it flat out just made college sports free agency, okay? And instead of it being, which the gray area was a joke to begin with, as the gray area has always been in the NCAA. The gray area prior to this rule changing was very much a joke. Those players were finding out essentially how much money they were going to make in NIL and then committing. But now I can legitimately write on this piece of paper as the head coach, hey, you're going to get $4.5 million from General Motors, from Bubba Coos Burritos, and from Chipotle. These are going to be the deals of your contract, okay? Here's the scholarship that we're going to give you. And they can just lay it out right there. Okay. So this step, this change in law, okay, has officially, in my opinion, ended any ounce, inkling, percentage left of college athletics to be considered college athletics. I believe now, okay, because starting in the fall of 2025, there will now be revenue sharing for college athletes, essentially a pay scale for the college athlete. So in fall of 2025, there will be nearly $20.5 million dispersed to the student athletes that are playing as if they are getting paid to play. So essentially, this is called the House settlement. This happened last year. Essentially, a minimum wage for a college athlete, okay, based on the scaling window. Obviously, college football, college basketball, those two sports and those two players are always going to be on the highest scale of earnings, whether that's NIL or making money being paid by your college for being an athlete. But starting in fall of 2025, you are now paying players to play as if it's like a job or a salary, okay? And you no longer have to worry about gray area in the NIL, and you can include the NIL name, image, and likeness for a prospective student athlete and make it official. Not, hey, we think we can do this. Hey, if you come here, this might happen. It's not like you come here, this $4 million is yours. And now, what's the answer? And that's the question moving forward. What is next for the NCAA? What's next? Okay? Do you just accept your fate and turn every sport that you governing body into a miniature version of their professional sport? Do you take NCAA college basketball and say, okay, we're going to split you up into two sides. You're going to go east and you're going to go west. we're going to have 32 teams from the East make it. We're going to have 32 teams from the West make it. And then the top 2 teams from the East and the West are going to play in a 3-game series, or you just keep it the same. It's just that conferences don't exist anymore. You make it a national landscape. This is national college basketball, okay? And now you have 32 teams split the country in half, one side or the other, right? And that could go for all the sports. That could go for hockey, baseball. Obviously, football is a slightly different module because of the college football playoff and where they came from in the BCS. But my question to you, write it in, YouTube, X, hit me up on social media, the Rome Show 1, whatever. My question to you is, what is next for the NCAA? Because they are professional sports now. It's been like that for 3 or 4 years. But now, if there is no academics, if there's no admissions guidelines holding a kid to a standard before he can actually get the money he's being offered, then really what is it in terms of the need to go to college? I think at some point in time, you're going to start making rules where it's like, well, the kids only have to take 1 class. Yep, that's it. They only have to take 1 class, because now we're probably going to have a group of people that comes out and sues the NCAA and says these kids spend more time on the football field than they do in the classroom, but the classroom's getting held against them. And it's like, well, how at a job is the 15 hours I'm not at my job held against me than the 50 hours I work at my job? And it's like, you know, I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, I'm not going to my full-time job anymore. I did this for a while, but I'm not going to my full-time job and also going to school, and I can't hold my job if I'm bad at school. My boss don't care, right? Like, if I decide I want to go get a second master's right now, and I started going to school outside of my full-time job, and it started to affect my full-time job, my boss would be like, what the hell are you doing? I didn't ask for you to get a second master's. This is your choice. And it's like, well, you kind of going to start looking at college athletics like that. Like, do you really want Cooper Flagg in class today if he even goes to class? Like, do you want your starting quarterback on a Monday in class? Because in actuality, if you're treating this thing like professional sports, it's a 7-day-a-week thing. It's a 5 or 6 month season thing. And I can't imagine any kid without legitimate help from multiple people is even a college person, let alone somebody that's going to get good enough grades, let alone that even cares about their degree. So what is next for the NCAA by 2030? I truly believe by 2030, we are going to see a landscape that is nothing compared to what we're looking at now, okay? And because at the end of the day, it just can't be the same. So say goodbye to the old NCAA. Say goodbye to what you thought an amateur athlete was. Say goodbye to all of it, okay? Because starting in fall of 2025, but really starting 3 or 4 years ago when NIL became a thing, you lost what college athletics is. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing either, but all of that change has now given you a gigantic question mark. Gigantic. Schools are closing across the country because they can't afford it. People are choosing not to go to school anymore because they don't see the benefit of it. It is a wild time for colleges and universities, and more specifically for colleges and universities that house Division I athletics programs, and have to figure out, are we an NIL school? Are we not? Can we even survive? Because we don't have the resource that all these other people have. 12 Ounce Sports has the resources for all the sports talk shows that you want to hear. We even have a full lacrosse show. That's right. The only network in the country with a daily show dedicated to just lacrosse. You can check out Daily Dive every day at 1 p.m. And if you want to check out any of the other shows that are on the 12OZ Sports Network, just head to 12ouncesports.com and you can check it out. We're ever changing as well, just like the NCAA, hopefully in the positive way, though. Michael Day, the host of the aforementioned Daily Dive show that I was just talking about, said, I'm guessing the future holds that players don't have scheduled classes during the season. Mike, that's a great point. It's almost like the future of the kid being a quote-unquote college athlete while also being a quote-unquote pro athlete is online classes. is asynchronous classes, which for those that don't know, asynchronous just means your professor puts the work online, your Blackboard, your Moodle, whatever services you've ever used, and then bang, you just go on and you do the work on your own time based on the guidelines. So, Mike, I think that's a great point, man. I think that's exactly where it's trending. It's like, oh, you're a football player? Okay, you don't go to school from September to December. Or anything you do from September to December, you don't actually ever physically have to be inside of a classroom, okay? But that's the biggest question, okay? What do you call it? What is it? What's it look like? Is it the NCAA? Is it college sports? Do we call it a pro league again? Over the next few years, starting with fall of 2025, it's your first step towards it's gone. We've all been talking about it's trending that way. Now it's the first step to being it's gone. We're about to be gone on a commercial break in 2 seconds here, but we need you to come back because St. Francis of Pennsylvania takes on Alabama State tonight, and University of North Carolina takes on San Diego State tonight. And we would like to give you some info on those games and give you our prediction as the NCAA tournament starts to trend towards starting tonight. And we have 3.5 legit weeks of some awesome basketball. So stick with us through the commercial break. We talk first round NCAA matchups, a little bit of National Hockey League, and your daily bananas. It's Andrew Romanella. It's you. It's the Rome Show. It's 12 Ounce Sports. We're back after this.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them. Yeah. Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
It's the Rome Show!
Yeah, the Rome Show. 12ouncesports.com. X, YouTube, Roku, Fire TV. Want to apologize to my guy, Michael Day. Got my last names mixed up. I'm sorry, Mikey. I actually realized as I looked through the comments on the show, we have a lot of same name people that comment. We got about 3 or 4 Michaels that write in. We have 2 Rockies. Like, that's a real thing.
I can't handle this 2 Rocky right now.
We have 2 Rockies that comment. And I know they're my family, but still. We got a few Anthonys. I looked at the Twitter before. I realized when Mike wrote in, he's like, yo, you messed this up. I'm like, you're right, Mike, my bad. This is not the same person. I am sorry for that. I appreciate your supporting the Rome Show. Then I realized I've put myself in a situation, both on my baseball team and on the Rome Show, where I have a lot of similar names, okay? We have 3 Anthonys on the baseball team, okay? 3. Then I got like 2 or 3 that comment. I got 2 or 3 that are my friends. I'm like, oh my God. So in conclusion, I appreciate everyone that writes in. Michael, I am sorry for the mess up there in the midst of that show. And I thank you for the commentary. I do agree with your thought on the NCAA. If you have a thought, the Rome Show won.
10 minutes from
Oh, wrong button. The Rome Show won. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the first round matchups in the NCAA tournament. We have number 16, St. Francis, PA, versus number 16, Alabama State. Alabama State is favored by 3.5 in this game, okay? However, I think I'm going to take St. Francis in this contest. Here's some information on the game. Alabama State averages 73.4 points per game, while St. Francis only gives up 71.6. They are a stout defensive team, and they're going to have to force Alabama State, who's not necessarily an elite offensive team, to find some scoring. Alabama State, 5 games under 500 when they played teams that weren't in the SWAC, whereas St. Francis, PA, though they come in with a 1 game or 2 game over 500 record, they won the NEC, and they used some gritty type basketball to win that game. So not much to dive into here, okay? It's a 16 seed facing a 16 seed that is essentially going to determine who plays Duke or Auburn in the first round. I believe this one's going to be who plays Auburn. Correct. So you're fighting for the chance to play one of the top 2 teams in the tournament. All right. But when you look at this game, you say to yourself, all right, well, there could be a real chance here for one of these 2 teams to make some noise. So I'm going to take St. Francis, PA. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're really good on the boards, and I think that their ability to play better against teams not in their conference shows what type of response they can have getting into the tournament. Whereas Alabama State, though 9-1 in their last 10, I don't necessarily trust the fact that they don't play very well against teams that are not in the SWAC. I think that matters. So give me St. Francis, PA, at the +5.5. The other game tonight is going to be number 11 UNC versus number 11 San Diego State. Now, UNC, heartbreaking loss, wild loss to Duke at the end of the ACC tournament. They made a furious comeback in the second half, but unfortunately, a lane violation and the game tying free throws hurt their chances of winning that contest. UNC ends up being the last team in the tournament, and why I'm going to pick them over San Diego State is because of that information right there first and foremost. I love teams with a chip on their shoulder. I love teams that believe they didn't get what they deserved. I love teams that feel like they've been slighted. And this team, okay, has, I think, 16 wins in the ACC or something like that. They're 22-13, okay? They're probably, comparative to other teams in theory ranked higher than them, better than those teams, but they play in the ACC, okay? And I don't want a UNC team that comes into this tournament pissed off. And I think that's exactly what you're going to get. Besides the fact that they're 8-2 in their last 10 and they're scoring nearly 83 points a game. And they're playing a San Diego State team that limped into the tournament, okay? And is only a team averaging nearly 70 points a game at 69.4. And I'm sorry, you're playing a high-powered offense, playing in a better conference, coming off going to the conference championship in the ACC, feeling slighted with talent enough to be good and make a run. Give me UNC as the winner of this game. So whether you want to take them at the -4.5, if you believe they're going to win by 5 points or more, or you want to take them on the money line, I have UNC at the -4.5, and I have St. Francis, Pennsylvania, the Red Flash, at +3.5 as your opening round, or as they call them on the NCAA bracket, your first 4 games in the tournament. Now, tomorrow, the East and the Midwest side of those first 4 games happens with American taking on Mount St. Mary's and Texas taking on Xavier. So what we will do tomorrow, much of the same that we did today, we'll give you a rundown on both of those games. We will choose who we believe is going to win that contest, and then we are going to pick it for you. But also tomorrow, we will spend a little bit of time going through our tournament bracket, and then on Thursday morning, okay, before the official round 1 of the NCAA tournament starts, we will take you through our entire tournament bracket picks. I will take you through every pick, my proposed 4, my proposed champion, and each pick going through the first round. And then after each round, we will make sure we get ourselves ready and right for the next upcoming matchup. So we got about 3 or 4 fun weeks up here, ladies and gentlemen, getting ourselves deep into March Madness in collegiate basketball. Just want to give you some notes on the National Hockey League. First and foremost, Alexander Ovechkin, 887 goals. He is now 8 goals away from Wayne Gretzky of 894. Alexander Ovechkin at 39 years old has 34 goals this season. The goal he scored yesterday was on his 182nd goalie. That is a wild statistic. Congrats to Alexander Ovechkin as he continues to chase history. The Professional Women's Hockey League set an attendance record the other day in Detroit. Right now, the PWHL is doing what they're calling a takeover tour, and they're trying to figure out what location might be the next best location for 2 more franchises. Right now, they have Boston, Minnesota, Montreal, New York, Ottawa, and Toronto. So they were in Detroit the other day, and they had the biggest attendance in the United States for a women's hockey game in history. Okay, I believe it was Boston playing or Minnesota playing New York. There were 14,288 fans there. Congratulations to the PWHL. It continues to prove positive. They averaged 5,500 fans last year during the 2024-2023 season. This year, already up to averaging 7,000 per game and breaking records as they go. If you were wondering, the largest women's game ever witnessed was in 2024 in Montreal versus Montreal and Toronto. And that was 21,105. So across the world, that's the greatest game or the largest watched game ever, most attended. But in terms of United States, the other day in Detroit, congratulations to the PWHL. And then finally, Aiden Hill of the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The 28-year-old goaltender gets a 6-year, $37.5 million extension. He's got a 2.53 goals against average and a .906 save percentage. If you were wondering, 2 years ago when the Las Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup, Aiden Hill was elite on that run. 11-4 record, 2.17 goals against average, and a .932 save percentage. So it's safe to say that the Las Vegas Golden Knights got their guy in net for the foreseeable future. He'll be playing goalie for the Golden Knights till 2031. Let me just give you this really quickly, and we can get out of here. That's right. I gave you 2 already. The Red Flash plus 3.5, UNC minus 4.5. Then I also want to take the Senators on the money line versus the Canadians, and then I want the Rangers at minus 1.5 against the Flames. The Flames have lost 6 of their last 8. The Senators have won 6 straight and are playing the best hockey they've played all year and are on the heels of the New Jersey Devils for the 3rd spot in the Metro. So I got 4 banana picks for you today. Our record's 70 and 54. So to finish, UNC minus 4.5, St. Francis Red Flash plus 3.5, Rangers minus 1.5 versus the Flames, and the Senators on the money line versus the Canadians. I got Kai, the goalie, in here, just throwing up some emojis for the people. Kai loves anytime we talk goaltending on this show, as he is a goalie himself in the lacrosse ranks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Rome Show here on a Tuesday. We had a blast. We hope you had a blast as well. That's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. as we are every single day. Follow the social media. Share the show with a friend. You missed any of it, go ahead and head to the Rome Show podcast and listen later or whenever. Completely up to you. I'm Andrew Romanello. You have an electric day. And until tomorrow, this is me saying peace.
US.com is the official place.
Thank you for listening.